Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on your time zone. I am Dr. Leo Borne from the Federal University of Mato Grosso here in Brazil, and with my student and colleague Tiago Christoni, we are presenting this paper for you that is called Smartphone Applications for Music Theory and Ear Training, Analyzing Harmony and Chords Instruction. This is part of Tiago's undergraduate thesis, and so he will start to talk a little bit about his work, our work actually.
Hi, my name is Tiago, and I'm going to start in the introduction. The usage of smartphone apps has increased in the last decade for many purposes, such as leisure, education, arts, music. Since these apps offer a wide variety of multimedia functionalities, some developers started to create apps aiming music instruction, especially on music theory and ear training, as well as some digital virtual instruments like virtual piano or guitar. Because of this phenomenon, we began to have a special interest on how the usage of these apps might improve traditional music classes, and we designed a study to comprehend it better. As our teacher practices are in music theory and ear training classes, we focus on the smartphone apps that address these subjects. As a result of our endeavors, in this paper present partial results of a study we conducted, which aimed to analyze a smartphone application for the study of music theory and ear training by comparing it with a traditional ear training method. In this paper, we focus on the app features of tonal harmony and chords construction. In order to achieve our objective, we conducted a qualitative study by the means of a case study, comparing an app with a traditional ear training method. The case unit was the app The Ear Gym, TEG, and the ear training auditory training method for musicians, BK, Benward and Kolosik. The TEG was chosen after a careful selection in the Google Play Store, a marketplace for the Android system, filling out the search engine with the terms ear training and oral skills. As for the BK method, it was chosen because it was the traditional method used on our ear training practices. Therefore, we have a deeper understanding of its structure and didactics. The BK method is basically focused on musical practice, presenting a large number of exercises. In addition, we can say that it is aimed at practical study with an emphasis on musical parameters of pitch and rhythm. Because of this practical nature, we understand that the theoretical aspects of music theory must be addressed by the teacher, with or without the support of other materials. More details on the structuring of the method will be given as they appear in the results. With both TEG and BK in hand, we filled out tables with their main features, such as the usage of sound materials, musical content, content organization, exercise, etc. After that, we started to compare one with the other, looking for trends and particularities of both. All this process, app selection, table filling, and comparison took place between December 2019 and June 2020. After present some theoretical background in the next section, we jump straight away to our results, in which we present the data at the same time as we discuss them. In the last section, we sum up our findings.
Well, for the results, we do not have the time to present our review, our literature review, because of the length of this presentation. So let's jump directly to our results. We divided the results in the two main features that we are analyzing, that is chord construction and harmony. For chorus construction, one of the musical elements within your training is the formation and auditory recognition of chords. And the study of musical chords using the TEG app takes place in 6 ways. The first is called chord identification, that we can see in the figure 1, in which the student must hear and identify which chord was played and its quality, if it is major, minor, augmented, or diminished. In this option, it is possible to choose between piano or guitar tones. The second option is the chord reading, the figure 2, in which the student must identify by reading the chords that are presented on the staff. The third option, that is the figure 3, it is the chord construction, where the student must theoretically build the chords on the staff. And the fourth is the chord singing, the figure 4, in which the student must sing the notes that constitute the chord by singing it as an arpeggio. The fifth option is the chords inversion, figure 5, where the student must listen and identify the chords inversion. The application has also a sixth option, which is chords comparison, the figure 6, in which the student must identify whether the two chords are in the same position or not. In addition, the TGE makes it possible to customize some features for the study of chords, such as melodic or harmonic construction presentation, either melodic or only harmonic. When we were testing the app, we observed that the chord singing option is quite accurate on recognizing pitches. Therefore, small tunings or A tunings are soon considered as wrong answers. All other exercises options work perfectly well, and the customization features may be considered as a way of making the tasks more or less difficult, according to previous student experience. An insightful note on that is that we, when observing our music theory students, find that melodic instruments students almost naturally tend to prefer melodic customizations, while the harmonic instruments ones seek harmonic relations more often. Now let's go to the BK method, the Benward-Colosic method. When we choose to analyze the BK method in the task of identifying and classifying chords, some of them require additionally that the chords must be assembled in the sheet music. And this is similar to the TEG chords identification and chord reading. As we see in the figure 7 right here, we can see that this exercise is the BK exercise for chords inversion. So the student must hear the inversion, and then he needs to note the inversion on this table right below. In the 8th figure, as we see here, the student must recognize the quality of the chords and the triads more specifically. And also, it should be noted that the BK presents other exercises where the chord is identified and classified, requiring corrections of the accidents of the notes presented in this chord, so that they match the identification of the chord, as we see in the figure 9. So the student hear the chord and mark if it is correct or incorrect, and makes the correction if it is needed. When we see the other exercise, it is the chord need to be listened, and they are structured in a 4-part voice. This exercise consists of playing 2 chords, and the student must listen to the one pitch that is incorrect in relation to what's written. The student also must identify which chord has the error, if it is the chord 1 or the chord 2 or chord A or B. In which voice contains the error, if it is the soprano, the alto, the tenor, or the bass. The BK method also presents the auditory recognition of chords with their seventh, such as major triad with major seventh, major triad with minor seventh, and so on. Um, Now, by comparing the TEG and the BK, it becomes evident that they present similarities and differences in the study of chords, and both may be considered as complementary. Since BK brings the possibility of studying chords in instruction format to four voices, also presenting various exercises to identify errors, while the TEG is more flexible and have the possibility of feedbacking right away. However, in the TEG, it is possible to study the chord singing, in which the student must sing the notes of a certain chord, which is not possible through the BK. In addition, TEG features more inversion identification exercises. In the next session, we will change the focus to the harmony exercises. So, the study of music analysis is understood as the study of music in a complex way. It may include harmonic or melodic analysis as well as literature, its structure. However, the TEG apps follows a North American line that the analysis only check the function of the chords within the music, if it is a chord first degree, second degree, and so on. In other words, harmony and chord constructions are linked. However, harmony has to do with chords placement within a given tonal context. Thus, the study of harmony in the TEG, as we see in the figure 11, presents and follows the following options. The first option is chord identification, that is figure 12, and we can see the ear right here, in which the chords must be listened to and identifying in function of a given key by its degree within the scale. That is, within a presented key, in the app, the student must select the degree of the chord heard in that key. The second option is analysis, the figure 13, where the chords are presented on the music sheet and must be identified according to a key shown by the app. As the third option is the chord progression, the figure 14, where the student should pick which chord progressions is played and he has to identify it. And the fourth option is the cadences, and it is the figure 15, where the student will hear and identify the cadence, which is perfect, imperfect, suspensive, plagal, or deceptive. In addition, in the TEG, it is possible to make the following customization of the study of harmony. You can have in the options chord identification, chord analysis. The student can select melodic or harmonic playing, only harmonic, only melodic. In the options chord identification, analysis, and chord progressions, the students can choose between the following inversion options, and they can choose more than one at the same time. No inversion, first inversion, second inversion, and third inversion. Another possibility found is that in the options chord identifications, chord progression, and cadences, it is possible to choose between piano or guitar tones. Lastly, in the study option of chord progressions, students can choose the amount of times they want to practice, having the option for 4 to 8. On the other hand, the exercises for recognition scales degree in the BK method consist of listening to what is played. And this listen is done by the teacher, is played by the teacher or the CD that comes along with the method. Identify the scales degree related to the established scale, and also the students have to write them in the corresponding spaces. Regarding the cadences study, as we see in the figure 16, the BK method presents exercises of cadence recognition approaching 5 types of cadences: authentic perfect, semi-cadence, plagal, and deceptive. The exercise consists of listening to and writing down the type of cadence. So the student listen the cadence, they write it down, and then they also write the type of cadence right here. Um, the second type of exercise, there are exercises related to chord degree recognition, where the student may write down, in addition to the Roman numbers corresponding to the degrees in the scale, the pitches in the music sheet. In the same exercise, it is possible to verify an example for recognizing chords within a musical literature context. And this type of exercise was not found in the TEG application. Given the above, when comparing the TEG and the BK method, we find that, that they present both similar and different exercises. The similar ones are those of recognizing course degrees orally. BK brings a more holistic view of the progress to be achieved by the student, and chapter by chapter, it builds on the recognition of the degrees that the chords must be played in a given key. BK also brings exercise that contextualize what is being learned in musical pieces drawn for the classical repertoire. In a similar way, as we see in the chord section, the TEG shows a variety of customization possibilities, what may improve and give other difficulties to the student, even though the exercises are discontextualized from the musical repertoire. So let's move on to some concluding thoughts, and I give this task to Tiago.
Thanks, Leo. Returning to the main objective, to analyze a smartphone application for the study of ear training by comparing it with a traditional ear training method, we can say that when we think about smartphone apps, usually we think about something that is technological and new, that may enhance many aspects of our lives, including to learn music theory and ear training. With this, it is evident that apps help in the learning and teaching of ear training, bringing important elements, technological resources that facilitate the understanding of the student and the exemplification of the teacher, looking for a more effective educational process. Regarding the study of chords, the BK shows advantages when exercising 70th chords recognition, in addition to also presenting triads and 70th chords structured in 4-part voices. On a complementary way, the use of the TEG app allows a greater variety of chord inversion identification, in addition to the study of chord singing, which is not carried out in B key. As for the study of harmony, the B key shows a wider variety of exercises, which leads students to make progress step by step, following the progressive didactics of the method. Some of its key features are the scale degrees recognition and the exemplification with the classic repertoire. The TEG is more limited in the quantity and the variety of exercises for this purpose, but once again, it can be customized to, to address specific content within its possibilities. To sum up, the analysis of these educational tools in music theory and ear training has a fundamental importance to guide teachers as to the possibilities and limitations of these resources. As we have showed, method and app address the content both in similar and in different ways. So a music teacher that is up to date with technologic uses may find that the best practice is to apply both of them in his or her classes, helping students to choose those tools that must address to their pedagogical needs.
Thank you very much for your attention. This is our contact info, so you can email us if you want to. Thank you for joining us today and have a great night.